Hello and welcome to a brand new adventure, and today we're down at the Standedge Canal tunnel, but we're not here for that, we're here for all of them. We're going to be trekking through the tunnels. As you can see, I've got my oranges on, so we're going to be hopefully trying out my brand new torch and this camera in the tunnels and see how it deals with that as we make our way through and give you lot a nice tour of everything within the Standedge Tunnels. So here we are at the Diggle end of the Standedge Tunnel, or the Canal tunnel anyway. You've just got the railway lines on that little embankment just there, and then obviously the canal right behind me here. So you've officially got 3 railway tunnels that run through the hills, only one in use, and the canal tunnel as well, so there's 4 in total. Now this obviously is the canal tunnel that heads through, right through to the Marsden side, which is about 3.25 miles in length, so it's pretty long. Now we're starting at this end, which is the Diggle end, and then we're going to head through backwards and hopefully get as much footage as we can throughout all 4 tunnels. We're currently stood on top of the canal portal, which is just behind us, and right there you can see the live railway tunnel, which is what is used today to head underneath the Pennines from Leeds to Manchester. And then just to the right, through those trees, you can see 2 yellow signs. They're the original 2 railway tunnels. And like I said, the canal tunnel is actually behind us over here. And it starts just beyond these trees here, and you head underneath already. So when you get to the railway tunnels, you're already underneath it. We've got a train coming. So there you go, you Trans-Pennine Express from Manchester to Leeds, no doubt. So again, we're on the same bridge just above the old railway lines, which would have been under here. The current live one is just down there. And there used to be an old station down there, which we will take a look at shortly, on the old lines. And apparently you used to access it from up here on the bridge. And you can just see where the brickwork changes there. That would have been the actual steps, or the entrance down to the platforms, which we believe were on this side. And it was like an island platform. And the really baffling thing as well, you've got all these culverted watercourses that run underneath the tunnels as well, or alongside. They all intercross at some point, which is very weird. The tunnels, the railway tunnels, are actually up there, and the canal tunnel is behind us. But then down here you've got this other tunnel which carries, well, a stream through the site. And now we're walking on the old track bed for one of the 2 older tunnels, which are not in use obviously. And you can see the yellow sign up ahead for the tunnel entrance, and then the other line would have been on this side here. It all looks very different now, and I believe this is where the island platform was on the left here, right in the middle. You can actually see a lot of discarded things and a big mound of rubble in there, so they've obviously just turned that over at some point. Yeah, it's very surreal to be next to a live railway line, but at the same time on an old abandoned one. And just as we get through towards the abandoned tunnel, you can see all this rubble here piled up, which is probably, in fact I'm pretty confident, is from the old station building. And look at that lovely tiled floor there. Yeah, I'm reckoning this was part of the original station. Well, here we are, we've reached the south portals for the original Standedge Tunnels, which are the 2 old railway ones, the up and down. And then just behind me is an old railway building right here. So we stood where the station would have been when you came out of the tunnels, and we've just seen back there the old destroyed island platform that was up there. This, obviously, as you can see on top, would have had a big water tank on it. And this building is abandoned, so let's see if we can see inside there. And here's a good place to show you. So there is the old railway tunnel entrances, the old building in the middle. And then right there, you've got the live railway line, which is in use today. And we've got the watercourse right in the middle here, which runs through the site. And the canal tunnel is somewhere already underneath the tunnels or somewhere alongside it. It's hard to work out where exactly it is. We'll try to figure it out. But while we're here, let's just have a quick look inside this abandoned building here. So this would have probably been some kind of railwayman's hut. And as you can see, it's in a bit of a sorry state today. You've got some old fences and things down here. Lots of graffiti as always. And old pipes into the ground, which probably lead into the stream that's flowing past. But this would have been right at the mouth of the tunnels. Well, it is. Let's head through here. And there you go. So it had a huge water tank on the roof as well, which is still there, or half of it is. Got a picnic table in here. Come in and have your sandwiches in this horrible surrounding. I don't think I would. But yeah, you can watch, you could do some train spotting in here, I'll tell you that. But it is private land here, so don't be coming down, I was only joking. But yeah, you can do some serious train spotting if you're into that, of the live line there. And if you're into ghost stories, you could watch some ghost trains come out of these ones. So there you go, nice close up there of the two original tunnel portals and what would have been the station right there. I'm not sure what the plan is today. I am being shown around by Network Rail and it's I'm just going with the flow basically, so I'm going to film everything I can and bring it to you guys so you don't have to go in, not that you can. In fact, just to mention while we're in here, you can see the serious girders there to hold up or to support the water tank, which would be very, very heavy above. And you can see one of the old water pipes here, which has been, well, destroyed. Yeah, so this would have probably been used to fill the steam trains back in the day. So here we go, at the tunnel entrances. And again, the live railway tunnel is the other side of this building. So we're going to make our way down the original, the oldest one here, and then at some point cross over into this one. So let's get our torches out and get inside. Okay, we're inside the oldest of the railway tunnels. Now, looking down there, it's so surreal. It looks like it's in a straight line. You can actually see what we think is light at the other end, which is hard to comprehend when it's 3¼ miles away. But it looks, I mean, you won't see it on the camera, but it looks not that far at all. But as we learned with the Saddleworth tunnel that we did with Martin Zero, it goes on forever and ever. But we know for definite it's 3¼ miles, so it is a long way, but it doesn't look it when you're looking at the light. So just at the entrance to the portal here, you can see the original stone blocks here and how big they are. And then it just changes right here into the brick lining of the tunnel. I'll just show you a better shot of that. And then as we head down here, I'll try to show you the length, but you can just see, well, I can, you can just see the other side of the light coming in. I don't think you will on the camera. It doesn't look that far, but I'm going to guarantee it is. First refuge on the right there. And then some old brickwork. You can see there probably was a little tunnel through or some kind of watercourse maybe. And you can see the water channel just down here, which is currently carrying the flood water through. Yeah, this is just completely empty. It's in good nick, but but it's just completely empty, as you would expect. So we've got number 9 there, which is obviously a marker on the wall, and apparently it's measured in chains as they do on the railways. So let's see how many we get to when we get to the other side. I've got a feeling it's going to be a lot. And just at this section here, you can see where they've done repairs in the past to shore the tunnel up. Even though they don't use it today, it's nice to keep it maintained. So here we go, you can see a little adit there, which carries the water through. So that will go through to the other tunnel, which is probably 20 feet away on the other side. I'd love to get you a shot inside. Let's see if we can. There you go. You can just see in there. Yeah, that carries the water through. And I've just been told as well, when they were constructing the tunnels, they would have probably used these to transfer the spoil through as well. Yeah, look at this, how spooky is it? This reminds me of the scene in Ghostbusters, if you remember it, when they were walking through the old subway tunnel and they heard the ghost train coming, and you could hear the voice. Yeah, it looks pretty far away now. If you look down there, you can see the entrance of where we came in. It looks a long way, but it's probably only a few hundred yards, that. But we're still not getting any closer to the light at the end of the tunnel. Now you can, because it's dark, you can actually see the light. If I zoom in for you now, you can see it there, because it's pitch black in here now. So spooky. It's nice though. And we've got our first adit, which is number 1. So these are built to link the tunnels, as you can see. Let me just turn the torch up a bit. So all these are crossing between both tunnels all the way up, and then there is other ones in there which cross to the Canal tunnel and the live tunnel, so they're all interconnected in some way. Alright, so let's head through. We're going to go into the second tunnel now on the left side, which is the newer one. Now check this out. You can see some old ballast down there on the floor. There we go. So we're now in the other tunnel, and you can actually see a flashing light up there. I just turned the torch off. That's probably a beacon of some sort for the Canal tunnel, because I do believe they drive through here in vehicles to shadow boats as they go through the Canal tunnel, and they can use them for emergencies and such. Yeah, and the torch back on, and then look down this way. So again, you can see where we came in, just down there. And then there's another adit on the right hand side there, which we'll take a look at, just back at this one. So this is where we have just come through from the older of the two tunnels next door. This is now the newer, but not the newest. I'm now on my own in this one. It's so spooky to be stood in a railway tunnel all by yourself. But anyway, let's go back and join the guys and then head through the other adit into the Canal tunnel. I'm looking forward to that. It's an old adit here. You can see the rock as they've cut it out of the the rock, and then chiseled the way through. It does kind of slope down a bit. And if you just look down there, you can see some block work at the bottom and some collapsed rocks in the middle. Yeah, this would have probably been used for construction back in the day, for the Canal tunnel or for the railway tunnels. And then if you go through there, on the other side of that wall will be the Standedge Canal tunnel, which is a bit lower down than we are. So all of what I've been telling you about the tunnels, I think I might have got it wrong. I misheard him. So this tunnel we're in, which is the middle one between the canal and the other railway tunnel is the original one, we think. And the first one we went in was the newer of the two old ones. It's getting very confusing. And then the canal tunnel is obviously to my left, and the railway tunnel, the live railway tunnel, is to the left of that. So all four of them are parallel pretty much. So you've got the live railway, the canal tunnel, the oldest railway tunnel, and then the newer oldest railway tunnel. Ooh, I can hear a rumble. There's a train passing. So when they built the canal tunnel there, they would have used these tunnels, or adits, to bring the spoil through into this tunnel and then transport it out. And then the same, when they built the other railway tunnel on the other side, they would have brought the rubbish or the spoil into here and transported it out. And then the newer one on the other side, well, they would have used modern technology for that. So if you think about it, of all these tunnels, if this one is the oldest, then it's quite old, because the canal tunnel is fairly old. I'm going to put all the dates in and bore you with all that later, but the live railway tunnel, which is the newer of the four, was built in 1894, I believe. And so, I mean, that is old. And you think these are a lot older than that. Okay, now it's getting really exciting. As you can see up there, we've got another adit. This one says live railway tunnel. And we ain't going in anywhere near that. But we're just going to show you in here because there's something I want you to see. So this one is a walkable adit. You can actually head through this. And we've got a little surprise right in the middle. So this shows you what you're about to see, or how the layout works. So you've got the railway tunnel behind me, the one behind that, and then as we come into here, we've got the canal tunnel right in the middle on the lower level. So this is the Standedge narrowboat canal tunnel. There you go. How weird is that? Try to show you a nice little shot in there and get my torch right. So there you go. I'll try to get you lower down. There you go. That's where the narrow boats go through towards Marsden. And the same on this side. Let's try to light it up again. It's really hard because of the different levels. Yeah, as you can see, the canal tunnel is probably, I don't know, 15 feet lower than the railway tunnels. And then we're not going to go any further than this, because that tunnel there, as you can see, is the live railway tunnel, which is very, very scary to think. So there's two lines there heading through from Manchester to Leeds. But I will zoom in for you so you can see it. But I'm not going to head into there because trains are going to be hurtling through there at probably 70, 80 mile an hour. Now, wouldn't it be good if we saw one? Perfect. That was surreal because the wind picked up something rotten, because this tunnel is obviously like an air adit as well between the other tunnels, and the wind just absolutely rushed through and then died down straight away. Yeah, there's the canal tunnel with the live railway tunnel on the other side, and then we're heading back into the original tunnel here. So it looks like they never bothered finishing the adit through to that one from here. Otherwise you could have gone through all four of them. Yeah, it looks like a refuge that they've been that they carved it out for, but yeah, if they'd have gone straight through that rock, you could have gone through all four of them. So you get again another small adit to the other railway tunnel. Let's get you closer. So like we were just saying, this would have been used for carrying spoil between the two, although today it's just for floodwater. Yeah, that wouldn't have been bricked up on the other side. Yeah, very interesting. There's a lot of these all up and down here. Now that entrance where we came in looks very close. I feel like we've been in here for an hour and walked a mile, and we haven't. Probably 500 yards. We've got another adit here. They're all pretty similar, although they look different. This one sort of drops down into the canal tunnel, which is through there. For these tunnels, I'll show you in here. There you go, look at that. So the water that you see running down that shaft there is dragging the air in with it. So it's like a ventilation system. So the water pulls in the air to all the tunnels, and they're all connected around this point. So you're going to get a nice airflow throughout. So back in the day when you had steam trains, all that steam would have been dragged out by this current here, or pushing the air through. And you can see the canal tunnel just there through that entrance, and a lot of the brickwork above it and stonework. But yeah, the water basically runs down from a vent just above there all the way up to the moorland, which is a long way above our heads. And the reservoir, that's amazing. And I can feel the air coming through. And just another angle here. Yeah, you can feel the air coming through and getting dragged in. It's amazing. So these old systems that were very simple, they worked, and they still work to this day. We have a train coming. There you go. You could feel the wind picking up. So another adit here, and as you can see, it rises just a bit here, some old railway sleepers. So I know that we're walking now over the canal tunnel again. You can just see, well, you can't see it, but trust me, the canal is in there, running through. Oh, in fact, you can see it better this side. There you go. So there's the, I'm trying to get you a lower shot so you can see. It's hard to get the angles right on here, but there we go. So you can see the canal tunnel again through there. And then right up there is, again, as you just saw, the live railway tunnel, which we're not going to go near. So we've reached another adit, but this one is slightly different to the others. So you've got the usual one there linking the canal and the live tunnel, and then look on this side, it doesn't cross through into the other tunnel. This is a platelay's hut, or a railwayman's cabin, whatever you want to call it, complete with fireplace. You wouldn't expect to find a stove and a fireplace right in the middle of a railway tunnel, would you? But there you go, we have. So I'm told that the flue here for the fireplace runs at a diagonal up into the roof. And yeah, I mean, you can probably still light a fire in here. You can see, if I just lift the camera up, let's try to get you in there. Yep, you can see the flue there, look. So you can see it's still open. I reckon if you lit a fire it'll still work. And then a little section for warming up food probably there. And then, just as a random hole in the wall, which links across to the other railway tunnel on the other side. So they could have obviously come through here back in the day, but now it's all been bricked up, and they've obviously opened it recently to inspect it. But yeah, it's just carrying flood water now. I bet that was open and used for probably ventilation or even carrying stuff through. Yeah, I mean, it's not massive in here, but big enough to chill and light a nice fire and make a beverage. Probably a cup of Yorkshire tea, since we're in Yorkshire and not Lancashire, like everyone thinks. Martin Zero. Yeah, this is fantastic. And what would have been an old door, sliding door probably there. And then out into the railway tunnel, which obviously isn't live anymore. So correction to what I just said in there, the flue actually exits into the railway tunnel that we're in. And he's just going to demonstrate for us now. By shining a torch through, there you go. So it's just basically a hole in the wall, straight down into the chimney, as you can see. You can see his torch there, look. So yeah, there's the flue, and there's me thinking it was something complicated, like up into the roof and all that, but it's not. If you look at it. And then on this side, you've got the usual straight through, put another like a channel in the roof or a vent with water running through. And you can see the canal tunnel just under those stairs, and again the live tunnel is beyond that. And then just look down here, that's the level there of the canal tunnel, so you can access the tunnel down here and stand at the side and watch the barges and the boats go past. It's amazing. Anyway, let's press on. We don't seem to be getting any closer to the end, so I think we're going to pick up the pace a little bit and sweat like hell in these orange suits. But I'll come back to you if we find anything interesting as we head up there. Another little adit here with that beautiful rock there. You can see the layers in the rock. And they were just saying, as they built the tunnel, they didn't expect it to be as solid as it is. It took them a lot longer. You can see straight down there to the canal tunnel, or I can. Yeah, fantastic. And we just noticed on here, you can see the beautiful stonework there, and then you can see where it goes black in the middle from this soot. Yeah, no electric lines in here. There's the canal tunnel with a nice little ladder heading down. You can see it's a nice bit of stonework here. It's not like that all the way through. But you can't get through to the railway tunnel here. Yeah, left to right, your narrowboats would go through from Lancashire to Yorkshire. And we've actually got lights in this tunnel, which is unusual. So when the narrowboats go through the tunnel there, they're obviously heavily monitored because of modern safety laws and things. So when they go through, they have a van, or a man in a van, driving up where we are now through this tunnel. You can actually see the tyre tracks in the tunnel. And they follow the boat through. And there's these refuge points, just like that one we just saw, where if anything goes wrong, they can drag them through there, or bring them through there. And you know, if there are any medical emergencies, they can pump them straight onto a van and straight out of this tunnel, which is nice to know, I suppose. And yeah, so that's what they use them for, and there's quite a few of them all the way up, and they are checkpoints basically. Just trying to work out how far in we are, because we can't see the light at the end in this tunnel where we could, or we thought we could, in the other one. All I can see is a flashing light, which is construction work at the end. We can't work out how far away we are, so there must be a slight curve in this tunnel, we think anyway. But we're trying to work it out, because obviously you've got the numbers on the wall, which is the distance in chains, and we just figured out these are going up. So we're just trying to work out, we know how many chains it is, so we're just trying to work out where we are on that, and we think possibly 1.5 miles in the tunnel now, so nearly halfway. Not quite, but nearly. Another live railway tunnel in there. Oh, I say another. It's the same one. Access there. So yeah, we think we're about halfway, but we'll find out when we get further up. Yeah, I'm just enjoying walking in a straight line down this never-ending tunnel, which is great. Imagine a cycle route through here. That'd be amazing. And there you go, a fine example of the construction work. Another one, but I know they all look the same, but they're all fascinating to me. So this is a fine example of how they would have just tunnelled through. Just sticks of dynamite, blast it out. It does look like slate, that in the middle. I don't think it is, but it looks like it. Could be. But we've also just noticed that the air is getting drier this side, because you can't see our breath as much. Oh, in fact, I can hear a train coming. Listen to that.
What's that?
What's what?
Sounds like a train.
These lines have been abandoned for 50 years.
Oh.
Yeah, that's spooky, that. Oh. That sounds so weird. Definitely like Ghostbusters, that. You can hear the train coming. So we're in now what is known as the Cathedral And when I show you a close-up, you'll see why we call it that. But it's a lot higher here, and there's another big tunnel right here. And I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, we think over halfway now, we're not too sure. Let's keep going. There we go. This is why they call it the cathedral. So you can see the nice little steel, I'm presuming, or iron. Little cross members up there. In fact, I'll turn the torch down because it looks a bit distorted on the camera, but there you go. So you can see the cathedral sort of style roofing. And if you look up here, you've got the little fins in there, I'll call them little pits. Yeah, that's amazing. So it's blank on this side. Obviously the tunnel continues down there. And then, if we head down here, so this is a full-size adit or connection between the other tunnel as well. So this is the original tunnel that we were in when we started the video. If you just look up there, I think, is that the end of the tunnel? I can't tell. My eyes are that blurred because of the torch, but there's a bit of difference there. You can see the construction in the bricks. Again, same sort of cathedral style roof in here. And this is just a nice little cross chamber between the two tunnels. Now this one looks like the drier of the two compared to that one, but that's the more exciting one because you can see the canal and the other railway tunnel. So if you just look down at the floor here, apart from the old ancient railway sleepers, you can see some kind of brick floor there, and then the outline on the walls on both sides. So we think this might have been another building at some point, which would have probably been another halfway point bricklayers kind of thing. Yeah, it's obviously gone now. So let's continue back in the tunnel where we were. Just been told as well, they also call it the cathedral because we think that that's what it was actually used for back when they were constructing the tunnels here. So because they were right in the middle, they built themselves a makeshift church under those arches there, and yeah, did their worship there rather than going either side to the local towns, which are miles away. So apparently, yeah, it was used for that. So we believe anyway. And here we are at another one of those vents that come down from the reservoir above. I believe it's called Red Brook, which is the name of the reservoir on the moorland, which is quite a fair way above our heads. And all that water runs down pipes, or should I say down the shaft, into the tunnels to bring the air with it, and you can feel the air heading through these vents here. So they do work. But you can see on the other side the live railway tunnel, and then just where the water is falling in the middle will be on top of the canal tunnel, which is weird to think because the canal tunnel is actually sunk further down. As we've been walking along, it's getting lower and lower. And again, another ventilation vent there. You can actually see where the vent comes down at the top there. And then the water just runs straight into the tunnel. But as you can see here, we've got the wooden planks right in front of us, which will be above the canal tunnel, which is showing you where the canal tunnel is heading, because further back there, the canal was probably where that wall is at the other side. It's now here, so it is slowly making its way towards us and getting lower. So it may even cross further down. And just a little bit further along is another one, but this one you can see the stone vent there, look. You can actually see where it heads up above ground. And if you look down there, that's a lot of water, but you can smell the fresh air. It smells really fresh here. So that's amazing. And we've reached another checkpoint for the canal. So as you can see, there's a lot of equipment in here that can contact people. This one's again lit up. You can see the canal tunnel right here. This is amazing. So this is the closest we've got to the canal. I won't go too close because I don't want to fall in, but there you go. So we can see it's a lot lower here than it was further up. It's also a lot closer to the other tunnel, so it's moving towards us. Yeah, fantastic. So this is the closest we've got, like I say, and you can see where the rock work has been protected when they reopened this canal tunnel for tourists. They've used the shotcrete, I think they call it, like the spray-on concrete, which You can see the rocks just there. Yeah, so this is another checkpoint, in case you needed to know. And just up here, something which I love, a little culvert. And this is used to dispose of all the water in the tunnel, the railway tunnel at trackside, and straight down into the canal, as you would expect it. Yeah, fantastic. Now I can hear another train coming, which is beyond that wall there. Yeah, you can actually see me now because we've got lights in here, instead of being in the darkness. But yeah, so we've got the the railway tunnel, I'm getting confused now, right behind me there, which we've been walking through. The other one is beyond that. The canal's here, and the live railway tunnel is behind the camera as well. So we're right in the middle of all 4 tunnels, and I can hear a train coming. Yeah, this is so amazing. I'm so grateful of the opportunity to do this as well. So how surreal is this? Just gone back into the railway tunnel, and there is headlights coming towards us. And vehicles. So this is what I meant by them driving vehicles through it. So we're actually using the railway refuge. So in this adit here, which again is between the 2 railway tunnels, you can see on the walls what we believe these little diagonal marks here, and they're all the way up, all along the roof there, look. These little crevices, diagonal. I believe that's where they used to hammer the rods in to the rock and then place dynamite down to blow it up. And if you just look at that one, you can actually see some black stuff at the end, or a burn mark. So yeah, they probably exploded from there, and all the rock would have come cascading down. Obviously they wouldn't have been in here. Yeah, you can see the actual marks in here. And if you just look down here, you can see all the soot in the crevices here. Look, all the brickwork covered in soot. So you can see what the amount of rubbish or the mess that the steam trains used to cause. You can actually see where it's piled out from the wall there. So I've just pointed out there, you can see the soot is more prominent on the roof here, and it's definitely thicker. So we're now wondering if this is a slight gradient compared to the other bit of the tunnel, and it is possible. And it had to puff a little bit harder to get up here, hence the thick soot up there, and it wasn't as bad further down. And when we get to this point, you can see where the beautiful stonework here changes to brickwork again. So they've obviously done some repairs here at some point. It just looks really good. I mean, it's all in really good nick as well. To think this is, you know, over 150, 180 years old. It's just baffles you, doesn't it? How long these things last if you maintain them. We've reached another one of those air vents or shafts. And you can see this one better because we can get closer to it. All the rubbish that's come down the shaft here, and I can feel the air again rushing through. If I just stand on there, you can see the shaft as it goes up. And right under here is the canal tunnel. Just shine you through there. You can see the canal tunnel in there, so it's like a break to stop the water running directly into the canal tunnel. But the air still flows. That's amazing. Don't want to get too close because this camera is not waterproof at all. Yeah, you can see the shaft right there. That is so nice. Yeah, I didn't get it too wet, so I'm not going to take it out into the falling water, but you can see the shaft there. And again, on the way out, you can see all the dynamite marks again on the walls. If you look at this, you can see where they shoved the charges in to the rocks. It's very prominent there, look. Yeah, let's continue. Now check this out. We've got another shaft above us, we think there. Yep. You can just see it there, look. And then the railway tunnel is just through there, which means the canal is directly underneath there. So again, we're down at the canal tunnel. You can see the water line there, and the brick arches that were built when the railway tunnels were put in. And you can see where they've kind of chiselled out to the other side, but then never made it to the railway tunnel, the live one. Again, if you just look up there, you can see where the canal goes and comes from. So on the right up there is the Marsden side, so we're not far now. So at this section here, they've done some restoration works or some repair works just to strengthen the wall, because if you just look down there, you can see where it bows out slightly at the end towards the white frame. So they've done some soil nails, there you go. So they use resin in the walls, a bit like a wall plug, and then shove these giant bolts in and tighten them up, just to pin the stonework back into the earth or the rock. And then if you get to this section, if you just look at this, that's where it's bowing out there. So there's obviously some movement there. And then here we've got a steel cage just to protect the tunnel even more, held back with big iron plates on the wall. Yeah, just to strengthen it a little bit and keep it intact. That'll probably last another 100 years, but if you're going to be walking through it and driving through it, you need to make sure it's hunky-dory. Anyway, we estimate about 500 yards, we think, maybe a bit more, off the Marsden end of the tunnel now. You can see the light. It's definitely a gradient and definitely a slight bend, only slightly. But yeah, it just seems to get further away, but we're definitely getting closer. So we've reached near the end of the tunnel, and it's very swampy at this bit. Loads of water around and big puddles and holes and you name it, mud, sludge. We just had to wade through all the water back there, but we're probably 300 yards from the end now, every 400. Oh, look at this, coming up. That's where the water's coming from. Whoa, look at that. You can feel the wind and the water. There's another vent coming down from the top, and the water is just running straight through and out. You can see it running down there, look, into the drainage at the side. And you can hear it as well. And you can actually see the water coming out, look. Well, I can. I don't know if you can see it on there. Yeah, you can. You can see the water flying out of the tunnel, the wind. Amazing. So we're almost at the end of the tunnel now. It'll be 100 yards. And then there's one last little thing to show you in this hole in the wall, as I'll call it. Another little rest area here. Hut. No fireplace. Oh yeah, there is. I was going to say there's no fireplace. There is. There's actually a stove there, look. So another fireplace. You can actually see the chimney breast there. And a little bench just to chill. Yeah, it's actually very warm and still in here, which is surprising. Very small, but amazing. The brickwork. And the old iron bar there just to support the roof. Doesn't look very safe, actually. I'm going to get out. Yeah. And there's the flue for the chimney again, in the wall. Yeah. And we're almost there. 3¼ miles in a tunnel. Who would have thought? Here we are at the Marsden side, which is where we started, or I started the video, but you guys started at the Diggle end. But we actually started this side, parked up, and then drove around the other side to come back on ourselves, because there's no way we are walking all the way back down there. Not in one go anyway. With all this PPE on, it's very sweaty work. Well, there we go. We're out in the daylight. Seems so weird, I don't need my torch anymore. And you can see again, the portals for the tunnels right behind me there. And there's something interesting for me to show you just up here as well, to do with the watercourse, which is a different thing, but it's fascinating all the same. But yeah, just check this out. You wouldn't even know there was another canal tunnel and a railway tunnel over here, would you? Or should I say, over here. So confusing which way you are. But here you go. There's the original tunnel that we entered in on the other side, and then we crossed over to this one, which we now believe is the original tunnel, or the older one. You can see how high that embankment is up there. And then you've got the canal tunnel, which is just over there, but it comes out down here. And then the railway tunnel, the live railway tunnel, is the other side of that mound there. Higher than we are, because it comes out raised, it's at a slight gradient. So here's a good vantage point. There's the live railway tunnel right there. And that means then that the canal tunnel must be, I can't work it out, if it's on this side or under where we are, or on this side, but it comes out further down there. We'll find out when we get down there. And there's the two original tunnels, the older ones, which they've no plans to use for anything in the future at the minute. Just maintaining them now for access for the canal tunnel. And right there we've got an aqueduct, which is carrying a large stream, shall we say, or an outlet down there. I'll show you it because it's really fascinating. Now this is a cracking view you don't get to see often. Again, the old tunnels there, just panning round for the live railway line, which is directly down there. And I think we're going to go on top of the railway portal there. Oh, I love my job. It's so fun doing all this. You don't get to do this kind of thing very often, but when I do, I love it. And the canal comes out through the middle here and heads underneath the railway, so it's now at a lower level on the railways, raises itself up, and it heads out over there. So we'll check out the exit if we can. It's not often you get to do this kind of thing, walking around railway property. Like I said, we have special permission, courtesy of our very good friend at Network Rail, who also managed to get us into Leeds Station and all the other stuff to do with the railways. And I'm ever so grateful. You know who you are. He's very shy, doesn't want to be mentioned, but yeah, I'm very grateful. And you can see on top of the portal there, it says 1894 on the keystone, so definitely the newest one of the tunnels. So let's check out this aqueduct right next to the live railway line. I do remember seeing it off the train when we were going through to Manchester. I'll just show you a shot of it. So the canal must run underneath here, which is why this outlet here has to go over the live railway line, because it can't go underneath because the canal tunnel is underneath. But how amazing is that? Yeah, as the canal is there, that has to go over the railway and not under it. There's that many bloody watercourses and lines and tracks and canals and everything is right here. So fascinating. We've got the live railway line right there, but I'm not going any further because it's too close to my liking. But yeah, you can see this fantastic water channel here as it heads out. But yeah, also worth mentioning, when, for the canal tunnel anyway, when the pack horses used to drag the barges through, obviously they couldn't drag them through the canal tunnel. They used to punt it through or use their legs on the roof to shimmy it through. But the horses used to go over that way on the pack horse road, which is about 3.5 miles over the hills. I don't envy that. But yeah, all these fascinating things all crammed in underneath all this infrastructure. The Victorians knew how to do it. There we go, just as it starts to rain, we're off and done. So thank you very much for watching these videos at the Standedge Tunnels, which are located in Yorkshire between Huddersfield and Manchester. So right on the, under the moors, should I say. But thank you very much for joining us here. A big thanks to Network Rail, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.